All right, folks, we are live on the live stream for a Saturday morning live stream, like what we used to do. We've been doing the midweek for the past several months, but we're doing a live stream, a special live stream on Saturday morning because we're operating from two different time zones. So I'm located here in the Seattle area of the west coast of the United States, and we're going to be talking with Jur, who's over in Holland and way across over in Europe. So we found the right sweet spot for this particular live stream. So I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Welcome, Prepper Nerd. Good to see you. Denise Drake, good to see you as well. Let's see, we have a lot of fans of Jur already. I see you over there. A lot of new faces to the live stream. Good to see you, EDC TV. Thank you for coming. What's up, EDC? Yeah. What's up to you too? So this is going to be a fun one. So with preparedness, oftentimes preppers are into a lot of different things, and we interact with a lot of things. I kind of call them prepper adjacent. So there's certain preppers, for example, we're into things like precious metals, like gold and silver. And there's some people that are just into gold and silver, and we kind of call them, well, they're prepper adjacent. They're very aligned with a lot of the same stuff that we do here. And with everything going on nowadays, I know there's a lot of people that are concerned about, they want to protect the value that they have in their money or their property, and they want to have stuff that if SHTF were to happen, that they would at least have something of value that they'd be able to trade and to retain value with even during dips and stuff. So right now, the big thing that a lot of people are into is cryptocurrency, especially Bitcoin. And so over on our Discord server, let me see if I can bring it up really quick. We have a Discord server, a link in the description box, where we talk about a lot of different preparedness topics. And the Discord server is called the Preppers Guild, which is pretty cool. And in this particular server, we have a whole section here with regard to finance and resources. Really quick, we're not providing financial advice during this live stream. We're just talking with friends. So don't even listen to us when we're talking about for financial stuff, and don't get mad at me for anything. So, okay, there we go. There's my little disclaimer. But if you look over on our Discord server, we have sections here for budget and prepping. We have a cryptocurrency, financial literacy, gold and silver, stock market. And Jur is one of the active users in this particular Discord server, and we got to talking offline about a lot of things with regard to cryptocurrency and especially Bitcoin. And Jur is a professional trader and also contributes to the trading software as well. He started off in the background with software engineering. So I'm like, hey, you got to come on the live stream. We got to talk. So that's what we're doing now. We're going to be talking all about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and how it relates to preparedness topics and prepping. So without further ado, let's bring on Jur to the live stream, and welcome. There we go.
Hey, good day.
Hey. Thanks so much for coming on. Now, I hope I pronounced it right. I don't think we really talked about that too. So.
That's fine. I'm used to international group of people, so.
And I noticed in the live stream, there's a lot of your fans in here because there's a lot of names that I either don't know or don't know how to pronounce. So that's good. So.
Yeah, I see some people from our trading community being here for, I guess, mental support. So
yeah,
that's cool. Thanks.
Yeah, that's great. And so you have a whole other Discord server that you're a part of that's specific with trading and with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and everything, right?
Yeah, I currently work for Cat.Trade, and we're essentially we started as a trading community, and then we started developing a lot of tools and automation tools and software to make our own trading easier, more efficient, and stuff like that. And we have a really active 1,200 users traders community ourselves.
Yeah,
but it kind of evolved as a whole platform for other trading communities also.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool stuff happening there the last months.
And again, you have a lot of fans. I already see. I see Jur is legend. We have some hearts over here. We have you're the man. Big up. Hello from the UK. So a lot of your fans are here now. I thought maybe to start things off, because a lot of again, we met mainly through the Discord server that we have over here, where you're heavily involved in talking about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin and everything, and with regard to preparedness, because we're always trying to talk about everything in terms of preparedness type topics. But I thought maybe to start things off, maybe you could provide, I did include some of this information in the description box of this video, but maybe your background history on how you got started. I know you come from a background from software engineering, and that's just to get everyone up to speed to who you are, what you do, and then we'll start diving into the topics. And I'll put you on.
So I started as a IT engineer, and I ended up with some major banks like KBC Bank, ABN AMRO in the 90s. And I worked in the dealing rooms there, and I was pretty interested in what those people were doing there with all the charts and the stuff like that while doing my IT work there. And they were pretty cool guys, and they were like, "Oh, you're interested in our work." So they were explaining me what they're doing and why they're doing and how they were trading. And in the meanwhile, I was just fixing their IT problems there. So that kind of got me into trading some stocks and precious metals in beginning of the year 2000 probably. And in 2015, 16, I think I started a bit with Bitcoin. It was a few years old then, and then in 2017 we had one of the big bull runs where whole Bitcoin exploded, and been trading crypto since then. Work-wise, I owned and run an IT company with 25 employees for a couple of years, almost 12 years actually. And since last year, I'm just full-time trading crypto and developing on the Cat.Trade platform, developing the community, doing educational Zoom sessions and resources for the people there, and developing the whole platform.
Mm-hmm.
And trading is a bit of another hobby, maybe, of mine. I always been outdoors, camping, mountaineering, hiking, also a bit of bushcraft. And so the step to more preparedness was not that big. And I think it was triggered mainly because of the 9/11 attacks in 2001. That just was a realization moment for me from, well, even in countries like USA and Europe, there's no guarantee that everything will be just sunshine and happiness always.
Yeah.
And that got me a bit more into preparing for the bad times.
Yeah, I know with a lot of us, something triggered us to get interested in preparedness topics, and some of us go deeper into it as others. It seems like you're already kind of into the outdoors and bushcrafting and things, and then the kind of scare of that is from 9/11 type stuff is what helped bring into the preparedness part of it. And for me, it was during like 2008, 2007, 2009 when during the that slight little when the economy was a little rough back then. So that's what really got me into prepping. And I see a lot of comments. I'm going to try to get to as many of the comments that we can right now, because I already see some that are on some of the topics we're going to talk about. Like an EMP will make this all insufficient. So and we're going to talk about that more, because it basically have to be a worldwide. You'd have to take down the entire internet across the world to make it no longer usable. But we'll talk about that more too. So cool. And we're going to try to. I see some comments coming in there. I'm a little bit. I'm a bit disappointed, as I thought Drew was a machine. Yeah, we thought Drew was AI for a while, but it's a real person. It seems like so. Slight disappointment there.
Yeah, I usually don't have my camera on when doing Zooms in our community. So
yeah, well, I feel honored that you're on camera for us for this particular one. So I'm trying to figure out the best way of getting down into it. So okay. You do trading, you do automation software. I know that you have your desktop that we're able to link to as well. Let me see if I can bring it up really quick, because you're going to be able to provide some various presentation graphs and stuff. So this is going to be fairly nerdy of a topic here, but how do you want to kickstart into why Bitcoin? Why should us preppers be into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency?
Well, I think we're always prepping for a certain scenario. And nothing you prep will work for all scenarios. Like having a boat is great for flooding, but there's not much use for it when it's an EMP or whatever. Mm-hmm. So like someone in the chat said, like if there's an EMP strike, it's useless. Yeah, but I think what is on the top of my list actually as likely scenarios, and has been for a long time, because just of my background and my look into the inside of the banking world, is economical collapse, financial problems, the monetary system. And the chart that I have on this screen is like the reason why Bitcoin exists. And this is how much dollars are being created since 1981, I think. Yeah, 1980. And you can see there's a little, it goes up and up and up. And this is the beginning of 2020. And there you see that at the moment, I think it's 23% of all the dollars in existence are created in the last year. And that's like, if you zoom into that a bit, you see what an immense amount of money is created.
Yeah.
And then you have the simple basics of supply and demand. If you got a lot of huge supply, the value just goes down. Oh, and we get all trading alerts in between.
It's okay.
Of automation kicking in. So this is the, if I can go to this little peak here. This was actually the reaction of the 9/11 attacks, where they printed, they did an economy boost. And at that time, it was quite controversial to do such a big a release of extra money into the economy as a boost. But if you zoom out to the big scheme of things, what we're in now, it's like a small little glitch in the big line up.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, very insignificant. And we all probably been in the 2008 crisis, like you just mentioned. That was like an eye-opener as a possible scenario. And we only did this. In the whole banking crisis of 2008, we just had this little jump here. So if you have that context in mind with major events like 9/11, the whole banking crisis, and what you see happening now, I think like this is putting the value of the dollar under a lot of pressure. And not only the dollar, it's the same for the euro or the yen or whatever. And see, where do I have it? So it's a bit technical, all these charts. If you want to understand them in detail, please join our trading
we have
community.
we have a slightly nerdy audience. And you said you have your trading community. Maybe we could provide links, and I think there's folks from the trading community. If you want to provide links in the chat room, please do that. And it looks like the chart that you're using is tradingview.com chart, and then those are the ones that you're using there. So
yeah, and you can just use it for free, the basic things. But here you see the value of the dollar for this year, and you see that there was the March dump of the health crisis, let's call it that way, before YouTube kicks us out.
Okay.
And you see that things crashed, people ran to the dollar briefly, and then it just stabilized. And since then, with all the money being printed, the value has dropped.
It's about 10% or
12% by now. Yeah. And you see in this orange line is the price of Bitcoin in the same time, and you see that the dollar is going down and the Bitcoin price is going up. And that's exactly why what you're preparing for is, with all the money printing, you get an inflation, and everything you want to buy with dollars is just going to be much more expensive. And I don't know if you can already see that happening there in the US, but some things here are definitely going up in price big time here.
It's pretty crazy to look at it like this, where you're saying that 20% of all of the money that's ever been made, or as far as dollars, since I think the chart went back to 1981, is within the last year. So from March of last year to this present time, that's 20% of all money that's ever been created, which is kind of scary. And I know with preppers, we're super into, well, at least in the past, and we could talk a little bit more about Bitcoin and blockchain and everything like that. But I know that preppers were super into precious metals, and back in 2008, for example, I started getting into precious metals, and I kind of sold them when it got to a certain price. But you're saying, so for you, this might be a better option in some ways to get into now because of what's going on based off of the data.
It's complementary. It's not like a replacement, but
diversifying your portfolio of stuff that you have.
Yeah, it's like spreading your risk. Yeah, and it's of course it's a bit more risky than just having a stash of silver and gold somewhere in a safe deposit box.
Yeah,
but also in performance-wise, if we look at last year, 2020, this is the how much value is being in that kind of assets. You see that oil dropped 22%. US dollar dropped 7% in value last year. Then you have all the bonds, and gold went up 28%. And for gold, that's a pretty high amount, actually. But you see Bitcoin did 318% last year in price. And since then, I think we ended the year at around $20,000 per Bitcoin. And we already went over 40,000 in January. And we're just a bit back now to $33,000. But it's just the beginning of the whole run for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So I see we are. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. I see all sorts of comments coming in. A lot of people are talking, and I want to try to make it an interactive experience with the people that are in the chat room and stuff. I know that some people are asking for it. Like this is one, Mr. Any suggestions for where to research and how to get some stuff? Maybe we could include that after we do this live stream as far as some of the resources that you would recommend. Are there any like right off the top of mind that you would recommend for people that are wanting to get into this right now?
I think if you want to really go into crypto and trade it, and it's almost like a day job, you really have to be deep in this space. Like there are over 4,500 different crypto coins, but essentially as a store of value, as like a digital gold, like they call it, it's Bitcoin is actually the only one. And although I will upset a lot of people now in the crypto space to say that Bitcoin is the only real asset, but it's the only one that has a large, a lot of money is already in there, and it has a limited supply, and that makes Bitcoin quite unique in the world. There's only 21 billion Bitcoin. Yeah.
Maybe for those that are, I think a lot of us are generally familiar with Bitcoin and with cryptocurrency and the whole concept of, blockchain and decentralization of money. Maybe are you able to provide like a brief overview for anyone that's just kind of getting into it now and might not understand it? I know we could probably spend the whole live stream talking about what is Bitcoin and what is blockchain, but maybe like the Cliff Notes version, I guess then.
So I'll try to summarize it. Well, Bitcoin is created actually and invented in 2008 as during the banking crisis to create an alternative for the current system with the ever increasing inflation and banks being in control and the central banks being in control. And it was made in a way that it's decentralized. So there's not one place where you can control or influence Bitcoin. The network is made of thousands of computers all over the whole world that are all interconnected and sharing that one read-only database, actually, or write-once read-only database of all the transactions that ever happened. And that's the Bitcoin blockchain. And you should see it not like a lot of people try to compare it with money. Like I want to go to Starbucks, get a coffee and pay in Bitcoin, but that's not what it's meant for. It's more like you have an online savings account. And if you want to use that money, you just like stocks, you have to sell the stock for dollars and then you can buy something with those dollars. So I think the best comparison is that Bitcoin is digital gold, but it has some major advantages compared to gold.
Yeah.
And both its value and its usability.
And from my understanding, blockchain was invented back in like 91, I believe, and then they leveraged the blockchain technology with the Bitcoin in 2008 to help make it transparent and decentralized. And yeah, all the there's a lot of cool videos that I've seen on that as well. I mean, I've been pushing a lot with leveraging blockchain for video hosting because I'm trying to back up a lot of my video content to blockchain sites like Odyssey, for example, or Library, which uses the same concept. But yeah, a lot of people are here. Yeah. So again, to bring this down, because a lot of people are saying, what is the likelihood of government would seize or destroy this non-physical item or make it worthless to the owner? The only way to do that, from my understanding, is you'd have to bring the entire internet down on planet Earth, right? because it's decentralized, because it's peer-to-peer, it's all over the place.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so
And
there's your question.
Every economy is running on the internet now.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
So I don't
there's a
think
lot of people.
many governments are able to and willing to. So
Yeah. Man, a lot of cool questions coming. I'm going to try to pick the best ones. Yeah, this is one. Best investment is yeah. For the past year, I've been trying to invest in my pantry portfolio because foods. Alaska Prepper has some good videos on this too, with regard to food holding its value. So let's let me go back to what some of our topics so we just talked about. Can the government shut down Bitcoin? And the answer is no, unless they really wanted to destroy the entire everything that's going on. Then maybe we could talk a little bit about precious metals versus Bitcoin, because I want to try to bring it back into the world of prepping. So preppers are into precious metals, which are heavy. If you're talking about a lot of it, what are some of the pros and cons of precious metals versus Bitcoin then?
Well, I see some really interesting comments coming past. So
let me know if you have any specific ones you want me to bring up too. So
yeah, I see someone saying like blockchain is great, Bitcoin is terrible, it makes ransomware a problem. Well, that's a funny one, because that's one of the arguments that like the governments and the banks say, yeah, Bitcoin is used for illegal stuff. Well, it has actually been looked in, and like less than 1% of all Bitcoin transactions are used for something that is possibly illegal in some countries.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if the dollar is any reference case, then I think there's a much huger market of illegal things being done and handled in dollars. So
a lot of drug dealers and gangsters use dollars. So,
you can't pay your drugs with Bitcoin, so you need to give them hard dollars. So I don't think that's if Bitcoin wasn't around, ransomware would have found another way to process the payments.
Yeah.
So, but going back to the precious metals, well, I think like precious metals definitely have their place in preparedness, and I also have some metal, some gold and silver in my preps. But I live in Holland, and like my house is 7 meters below sea level. That's how stuff is in Holland. So it's a real option with say the sea levels rise, that I have to move to a different country, maybe, just as an example. And have you just imagined that you have like $100,000 worth of gold? It's big, it's heavy, and you go into a plane and you want to get that through customs. I don't think you're gonna you're gonna catch your plane in time trying to do that. And so, well, Bitcoin is very portable, and if you can remember 12 words, you don't need anything to access them. As long as you got an internet connection and you have your 12 keywords, your password that proves you are the owner of those Bitcoins, then you can use them and transact them everywhere in the world. And I think that's from a prepping perspective, that's a really big, if you are forced to travel, you don't have to be, they can't rob you of it. I would not feel happy if I'm driving in a SHDF scenario with $200,000 worth of gold in the back of my car. That would not make me comfortable. So Bitcoin is very portable. It's worldwide accessible as long as you have an internet connection. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest pros of Bitcoin in prepping.
Mm-hmm.
And also it's a bit of financial freedom. Like it's a non-controlled market. There's no government or hedge fund that can short it out. Like we had some very nice examples in the last days.
Something like that. Yeah.
We're not going to mention the names because we want to stay on YouTube.
Yeah, we like YouTube.
So there's a lot of also it's known that in the gold market and the silver market, there's large scale price suppression by hedge funds and stuff like that. So I think for me, Bitcoin is a bit of financial. It's a very good investment percentage wise, and you don't have to trade it; just hold it. just the best way, if you're not into this space, is just buy for a certain amount every fixed day of a month. Like every second day of the month, I just buy $50 worth of Bitcoin and I just keep it. Don't do anything with it, just keep it. And I will not going to look at the price. I'm not going to try to pick a high point or a low point, because that's really hard, even for professional traders.
Yeah.
Just buy a small piece of the pie every month. Because a lot of people say Bitcoin is really expensive now and I'm too late, so I have to look at other altcoins. Well, in reality, Bitcoin is just beginning to mature.
And
so the price is,
from my understanding, sorry. From my understanding, like when you're getting into the cryptocurrency, you have to be super into your security, because you're basically the bank. You can't call tech support, hey, someone took my Bitcoin or something like that. So what are some of the and I know that there's a lot of good videos on YouTube with like Crypto Casey has some really great videos on that. What are your kind of thoughts overall with just general security? What are some of the things that you try to do to protect your investment towards that? Because you kind of yo-yo, you're on your own. So
yeah, you actually have like three options where you can hold your keys. Like the key is your passphrase, the place where you can keep your Bitcoin. So you can place them on an exchange. And an exchange is like kind of a bank where you can trade in and buy and sell in cryptocurrency. And there's some pretty good ones, like in USA, you got Coinbase and Kraken. Kraken even has its banking license there now recently. So they're even regulated. And you got crypto.com and a lot of very good, reliable exchanges where you can just store your Bitcoin and your other cryptocurrencies. You can use a software wallet on your computer, or you can use like a USB key, security key to secure your Bitcoin. And what is said about Bitcoin is not your keys, not your crypto. I think that's a bit old-fashioned, to be honest. Like it's like saying not your cloud, not your files, not your app. Where everybody is using cloud services somewhere else without with all their precious data and company secrets without blinking an eye these days. And I think there are a lot of small dodgy exchanges, obviously, that like every place you've got some nasty things going on. But I think there's like if you're not storing millions worth in value, then an exchange or an app like Crypto.com or Coinbase is perfectly fine to start stocking up on some Bitcoins.
Yeah,
but that's
there's a lot of again, a lot of fun questions coming in the chat room. I want to make sure I get to some of those. Again, the EMP one keeps coming up, but an EMP will show everything. Just I guess EMP is going to be very localized over a region, I guess. But it would have to EMP would have to get the entire world grid.
You would have to destroy all the Bitcoin nodes in the world. So you would actually have to hit them all at the same time globally.
Yeah,
and
so
there's not one prep that will be the solution for every possible scenario. So yeah.
This one it looks like okay. This is above. we went above Music Studio's head. Do you think Conor McGregor should retire? I think that Conor McGregor probably shouldn't fight. Like he should be like all in for like the active MMA fighters, but then just do specialty fights where he can make the most amount of money. So that's there we go. So I know a lot of people are talking about Ethereum then, and we talked a little bit offline about this. You recommend maybe your thoughts or predictions, or what do you recommend for Ethereum? Because that's one of the other popular ones.
Yeah, like some people say that Bitcoin is gold and Ethereum is silver, but that's completely incorrect in my opinion. Like if Bitcoin is gold, then Ethereum is the oil. It's crude oil where the whole industry and production is running on. And it's less a store of value. It's actually like more a utility, more a commodity that you need to buy to be able to produce or run your own projects or your software on. And I think Ethereum is one of the two options for me where I invest in. And I think definitely this year it will be really good. but it's not a store of value as Bitcoin. It does not have a limited supply. It's just a different solution for a different problem. But yeah, I definitely like Ethereum. But from a preparedness perspective, if you're not like into the space and just looking for a way to preserve part of your wealth in different scenarios, then I definitely just consider Bitcoin.
So you mentioned that you probably wouldn't hang on to Ethereum for too long, or you would sell it then to get some more Bitcoin. Then is that short term?
Yeah.
Cool. Great. And let's see. A lot of great questions again. I'm not going to be able to get to all the questions. So if there's any ones, if you're watching the rerun of this, again, we're talking with Joe. We're talking about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Leave a comment in the comment section. We'll try to get to those ones offline too, because there's a lot of really good ones coming in. A lot of, like I anticipate, a lot of preppers are talking about the internet and stuff, and which will have some other problems if that's not there as well. Let's see. What's this?
I think if the whole internet and power grid is permanently offline, I think my Bitcoin will be the least of my worries, actually. So.
Yeah, yeah. There's, comms and stuff is probably going to be more important to me at that point. Yeah, that's what. If there's no internet, there's bigger issues than spending your coins. Yeah, that's there's
the probably got nothing to spend it on anyway.
Here's a random question for you. What is your opinion on Open Dime project?
Well, I didn't dive into that one specifically, but well, with 4,500 altcoins, I think it's pretty much outside of the scope of the preparedness subject.
Yeah,
but, I never looked at that one.
So this is from Libby. Remember, you do not buy one whole Bitcoin. You could buy like 0.008 of a Bitcoin. One of the questions I had is, what if someone like, let's say Elon Musk, for example, said, "Hey, I'm going to buy $10 billion. I'm going to spend $10 billion on Bitcoin." Like what? Because I know there's a limited number of coins out there, and once those are gone, they're gone. Yeah. Like what would happen if what would happen if Elon Musk decides, "Hey, I'm going to put in $10 billion and I'm going to try to get Bitcoin"? How's that? What would happen?
Because it's like you say, it's a limited supply. There never can be more than 21 million Bitcoin.
Yep.
And it's estimated that 3, 4, 5 million are approximately already lost in time by people forgetting they had Bitcoins in the early days on the laptop. They tossed the laptop and never took the Bitcoins out, and or forgot their password, or whatever happened to it, or people died and never told their children they had Bitcoin. Don't forget about that one. So it's estimated that the real available Bitcoin is like, it's not 21 million, it's more like 16, 17 million.
Mm-hmm.
But with being a fixed supply, if Elon Musk starts buying millions of Bitcoins, then the price goes up. And I don't know if you...
It'd be good for everyone. Yep.
Let's see. Did I take the right window somewhere? Yeah. So people are tracking which companies, and I'll see if I can make it a bit bigger. Like you might have heard this name, MicroStrategies. It's quite a big business intelligence software company in the US. And they have been buying in the last month more than 70,000, almost 71,000 Bitcoin.
Oh.
And that's the current today's value is $2.4 billion that he converted his company's cash into Bitcoin.
Wow.
And you see, and this is just the companies that have to report it, that it's known doing that. There are obviously a lot of private companies doing this stuff, like Square Inc. They got a lot, $161 million in the Bitcoin of no, it's not million. It's actually, yeah, it's million. I always have to, in Holland, we have the dot and the comma different. So always have to check when with the American number notation.
We have an international audience here, so yeah, sometimes that's
yeah. So there's a lot of big companies buying Bitcoin, and like Grayscale, it's a trust fund where people can buy. Actually, they don't buy Bitcoin, but they buy a fund. Like they already own 21 million. Is that million? Well, I think it's even more than that. They own
21 billion.
Yeah, billion dollars of Bitcoin already.
Wow. So and that percentage that's at the far right column, it says 2.94%. Is that the 2.94% of the available Bitcoin is owned by that. Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I mean, that's a lot.
Those big companies already, and most of that happened in 2020. Actually, they already acquired almost 6% of all available Bitcoin in the world. But like I think one person in the chat said, you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. Bitcoin is you can split in Satoshi, and essentially one Bitcoin is made of 6 million of 6 digits Satoshis. So there's plenty of room when price goes up to handle in smaller amounts.
And you were talking a little bit about how some people, they got coins way back and they had it on an old laptop. They got rid of the laptop. Now they're trying to find it. I heard of I forget if it's local in my state, where someone, it was either a hardware wallet. Maybe we could talk a little bit about the hardware wallets, or it was on their it was on a hardware wallet, I believe, a little device that has the Bitcoin in it. They somehow got into the dump, and then it was worth like, I don't know, $100 million or something. They wanted to pay the dump like $25 million to let them go through the trash to see if they could find it. And
a lot of stories like that. Like 12 years ago, Bitcoin was worthless, and if you bought like 10 years ago, you bought Bitcoin for $1. So if you would have bought like 300 Bitcoins now, then that's an incredible amount of money at this time of.
I remember people because I work in software engineering.
Bitcoin is just beginning with its value.
Yeah, I had a lot of friends that said to get into it, and I didn't listen. I should have. Can you talk about the hardware wallet? Like, there's little devices that you could move your Bitcoin to and put it into like a safe, for example.
Yeah, you actually don't. Your Bitcoins only exist in the blockchain, but you store your keys, your access to it, the proof that you own them. So you can keep a passphrase in your head, have that linked to your exchange account, or have them in a software application on your computer, or you can have them on like a hardware, like one of those hardware dongles, those USB things that act as a storage device for those keys.
Do you use one of those?
If you got serious money, I would recommend getting a hardware a ledger or something else of those brands. Yeah,
I've been just getting into it now and doing a lot of stuff, handwriting, putting it to a safe type thing, and looking at the key stuff too. So, going back old school. So let's see.
So I think like.
I'm trying to get to some of these comments. Maybe we can. Sorry, the connection's a little I think
laggy.
A little laggy there. Sorry, folks. Maybe we could do some rapid fire question Q&A so we can catch up a little bit on the chat room stuff. Again, we're talking with Jor from Holland, professional trader, software engineer, does automation for some of these apps. We got into contact through the Discord server, which I have, called the Preppers Guild. You can go check it out. Denise provided a link there, and he's super active in the finance and resourcing section of that one, where we talk about in terms of prepping. So in regards to prepping, we're not talking about in terms of financial advice or anything like that, but just with regard to prepping. And we have a whole cryptocurrency one here with all sorts of various discussions going on. So all you have to do is click the link in the description box for that Discord server, and you'll get in here, and you'll have all sorts of friends. And we have over 1,000 members now on here, which is super cool. So quick little shout out there. And so thank you, Denise, for the link over there. Maybe we could do some rapid fire Q&A. We've already talked about, everyone's still talking about no internet, no power, and ATMs, but let's go through some other ones too. Let's see.
No internet, no power, no ATMs, and you can't buy anything yet. The stores will be empty in 2 days, so there's nothing to buy.
What alternative do you recommend to Robinhood for someone in EU, and what do you think about? Maybe, I don't, if you want to hit one of those ones.
eToro. Let's try to not go too deep into crypto space and to keep it a bit more prepper related. I think a lot of questions are like really deep into things. So
cool. Okay, so this is from Prepper Nerd. Let's go back to prepping. So Prepper Nerd likes what we're talking about. So we're trying to get not to. I'm late. Just got this notification. A lot of people are saying that they get the notifications, either they don't get them at all, or they're coming in really late. That's kind of sucks. But let's see. Mom is pissed about GameStop stock. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have a cool Mom is pissed T-shirt. By the way, if you can see that here, there's the Mom is pissed T-shirt from the stream with Angry Prepper. And we just made that for the kids. That's cool. Let's see. Go through the chats over here. Is there any other ones that you see over here? Oh, this is thumbs up. I always forget to do this. Thumbs up if you guys like this particular live stream, or if you like live streams in general. There's people talking about Ledger got hacked, which is causing problems with trust in those services or techniques to protect cash. Protecting cash now is protecting their data.
It was not the Ledger device that was hacked, but just their customer database. So a lot of people that have ledgers now get scam emails and phishing emails with their name and address. And there's a problem with your ledger. Please click here to solve it. Yeah. So it's not that the protection of your Bitcoin is hacked, but just your private details are available on the internet.
Yeah, and I get a lot of those type of random calls for other things too. So they're shooting for $1,000 per ounce for silver. That'd be pretty cool. Certainly late to
somebody that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're a little bit late, zombie preparedness, but
if you can share my screen.
Yep.
So this is the Bitcoin price, and every little stripe you see in this chart is a week of price. So Bitcoin moves in cycles of 4 years, and like once every 4 years you got a big, very parabolic move up, and then you trickle down again, and then after 4 years it goes up again. And if we look at the last cycle, you see that we, from this point in time, that Bitcoin went up over 3,000% in that period of just over like almost 1.5 years. So if we look at this cycle, and that red line is the beginning of a cycle. I'm not going to go into details why that is, but it's the halving when mining becomes more difficult. And you see that we only have, so far in this cycle, made 371%. So where are we compared to the previous run? Like, it looks like we're like much higher already, but actually we are just on this little spiky, approximately. We went up a bit, 365%. Then we dropped down like a bit, and it's quite normal in Bitcoin that you have corrections of 30, 40, sometimes even 50% drop in price. And that scares a lot of people, but that's the price you pay for insane performance, like 3,000% in like 1 year. So if you enter Bitcoin and the next day Bitcoin is 40% worth less, don't get scared. Just hold it, sit it out, and before you know it, like we went up here 365%, then we went down 40% in that example, and then we went up, and we eventually made like 3,000% in that cycle in price raise. So it seems like we're just getting started in this cycle.
There's not like a stock exchange that's going on from like normal working hours. This is a 24-hour thing. So when things fluctuate, 24/7, 365 days a year, don't freak out too much on those kind of spikes. But to go back to Zombie Preparedness' question, it's not too late to get into the Bitcoin party, is what you're saying.
Definitely not. No, like there's a lot of mathematical models, like the stock to flow model. It's pretty popular. It compares the evolution of Bitcoin to the value in the markets of gold and silver and stocks. And according to that model, we probably gonna hit somewhere between, I think I got it here. We're probably gonna end up somewhere between $150,000 and $220,000. That's what that model predicts for price for this cycle for the coming 1.5 years.
And can you explain how it predicts that again? What that first part of it? I was trying to keep an eye on what you were clicking there.
Yeah, it's It's made by somebody in finance, in the finance sector, a professional. He compares how the price of Bitcoin evolves with the maturity of that asset, and he compares it how gold has done it, how stocks have done it, how silver has done it, and oil has done it.
Got it.
So far he's been spot on with the whole mathematical model.
Now, are we able to provide this link? Are we able to provide the link that you're using into the chat room so that others could kind of take a look at it too, or is this something you have to pay to see this?
No, you can look at this stuff for free on TradingView. Yeah, I'll put some links later on.
Cool, sounds good. I'm trying to look at it so I can write it out really quick.
So I'm not saying that Bitcoin will reach $150,000 to $250,000 this year, but if it might be more, it might be less. But that's the most accurate model to predict the price, is saying that it will end up somewhere all the way, probably between here and here. And that makes sense if you think of the 3,000% of the last cycle. Where would 3,000% end us now? I would end up even much higher.
And when you say that the cycles are every 4 years, when you say the cycles are every 4 years, where does that come from?
Well, Bitcoin, the more Bitcoins exist, the more difficult it becomes to create them, to mine them. Because that's one misconception about Bitcoin. They're not made out of nothing. It takes a lot of actual power, energy, and equipment to do the mathematical calculations to create a Bitcoin. And that's really expensive. And every approximately 4 years, when the reward for a miner, so how many Bitcoins they get for creating new Bitcoins, it halves. It's cut into half. And that happens roughly every 4 years, and that's this red line. And every time after that, so it's deflationary asset. And every time, and that creates a cycle of 4 years. And by coincidence, it started. It's pretty much when you guys have a presidential election, then Bitcoin has its halving just before that.
Okay, so it's semi based off the presidential.
And that's an easy way to remember that. So you're definitely not late to the Bitcoin party, because if we do the same like 4 years ago, we rise over 3,000%. That would bring us to $284,000-$300,000 per Bitcoin, and we're currently at 34. So you're not late to the party.
Cool. A lot of preppers are coming in here now. So this is from Steven. How long have you been buying Bitcoin? I think you got into Bitcoin was created in about 2008, and then you said you started getting into it within the last decade. It sounded like, right? Is it?
Yeah, I think I bought my first Bitcoin in 2016. Yeah.
Cool.
And I've sold them a long time ago when I thought I had the biggest deal. I'd made the biggest deal of my life, but yeah, we didn't predict the future of Bitcoin. And actually, last year was something structurally changed for Bitcoin in the world because of whatever happened in the world. And I think we just had like 4 or 5 years of maturity in 1 year pushed through. And now you see all the pension funds and companies like MicroStrategy. There's so much long-term investment money flowing into Bitcoin right now. It's insane.
Yeah.
And those are not guys that will sell it when the price drops 20% in a year. Those guys are in for the long run. They invest for the next 10, 20, 30 years.
This is this comment caught my eye. So you're going to be so happy. I think they're maybe not a fan of the Bitcoin. You're going to be so happy when Bitcoin hits 1 million, then wham, government will cut off access to sell. Your thoughts on that?
Wham, government cuts off access to sell. Well, I don't know how they would do that actually. In Europe, it's definitely not even for government legal to do it. They would have to change the constitution. But I think if you're more from the USA perspective, then yeah, how would they prevent you from traveling to a country where you can exchange it into currencies? So it would be really drastic measures to completely block you out of Bitcoin. And they cannot block your access to Bitcoin. They can make it illegal, perhaps, but yeah.
Cool. There's the answer right there. On Wahi, I think is how to say it. Someone's asking about Ethereum. We already talked about Ethereum, so you have to watch the rerun on that, Jay, because we got to that one. Sharon saying it's never too late to get into Bitcoin. They're talking about some of the cycles. This is from home. Let's see. Buy Bitcoin where? Where do you like? Let's say the average person wants to get started. Like where should they go and buy this, and what kind of steps should they take before buying it? Then.
Yeah, it depends on where you live, obviously, but just considering, I think in Europe we got a lot more options, and in USA there are some exchanges that are like legal there and regulated, like Kraken and Coinbase are, I think, the most, and Gemini, I think, also. Not sure how legal they are in USA though. I'm not in USA, so I don't keep that close track. But those are the big names in this space in the USA, at least. And there are probably more that I don't know specifically to USA regulations.
Yeah. So I'll for those watching, if you're watching this live or if you're watching the rerun of it, I'll make sure that I'll update this particular video with some of the links for the stuff that George's been showing us, in addition to maybe some getting started items as well.
And we can discuss, and I can also share them and explain in Discord if people drop in there.
Sounds great. Yeah, and you're talking on the Preppers Guild Discord then, right? Yeah, so guys, if you want to come and talk to George directly, you could just go over to the Preppers Guild. Let me see if I could. There's some more cool comments coming in that we'll get to. But let me add to the
Linda has a very good point.
Linda, yeah, I wanted to get to that one. Yeah, you guys make sure if you're not already on Discord. Yeah, really quick. This is from Linda. So, is it worth buying Bitcoin from PayPal when you don't get the keys?
Yeah, like we said before. People say not your keys, not your crypto, but yeah, then you also don't use any cloud services. You don't use Office from Microsoft or Google for your documents. Not your cloud, not your document. So yeah, I don't think it's still a viable mindset. Obviously, if you got if you spend millions on Bitcoin, I definitely would put it on a hardware device, or there's some very good solutions for that. Yeah. But yeah,
cool. Yeah, great question, Linda. I just had a friend of mine.
For companies like that to buy Bitcoin there.
Yeah, I know several people that do. That looks like they're appreciating your clear explanations, which is awesome. That's a cool avatar too.
Welcome.
This is from Ryan. Urban Prepper, are you doing any more music videos? Yeah, I'm working on some more music videos, some prepper rap videos. Actually, Denise is actually working on some lyrics for me on one of them. So that's Denise right here for continue the conversation going to the Preppers Guild. So there, but yeah, I am working on some more prepper rap videos, even though some people don't like them, but I like them, so they're fun. So that answers the question.
Don't forget, it's evening here, and after this live stream, I have to put some kids in bed, so
yeah,
I might not respond immediately.
Yeah. It's morning for me too, and I'm going to be doing some family stuff a little bit later. Okay, here's one. What would be a smart invest in? What would be smart invest in silver and save in Bitcoin or in Rures?
Well, the best thing, I don't know what Rures is, but the best thing is to spread your risk and diversify. So I have I personally have a piece of land, which is also my bug out location. I have silver and gold, and I have Bitcoin. So don't bet everything on one horse. That's I think the best advice you can do.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's great to diversify everything that you have, especially with preparedness. I mean, don't just get all MREs. Get to MREs and get canned food and start doing your own canning and get Mountain House and grocery stuff and pantry stuff. And it seems like the same with kind of the finances stuff. Don't just have all fiat or cash, but have some gold and silver and some Bitcoin and land and stuff that could hold its value and see which one works out the best in the long run. But I really like this whole. I know we're approaching the hour mark. I like this whole concept of, because of the transparency, because of the decentralization, I think us as a society is kind of moving towards that direction with a lot of different things. And it's going to be exciting where we go from, even 5 years from now, what it's going to look like. But I think a lot of the problems that we have in the world today would be solved with transparency and decentralization. It seems the news is just one thing, let alone some of the stuff going on with videos and censorship and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of it, when you make it transparent and decentralized and open source, it solves a lot of problems, and I think that this also does as well. So,
like you also have social media channels solutions now running on the blockchain, so that can never be censored. So I think we're going to hear more about that in the future.
Yeah, totally. And I know a lot of the blockchain video hosting sites like Library, Odyssey, for example, is coming out with their own live stream. So maybe while YouTube still the people are here on YouTube, but maybe 5 to 10 years from now, who knows what it's going to look like. But I know a lot of them are going more towards live streams that's still leveraging blockchain, so it's still decentralized and peer-to-peer, which is cool. And it'll be cool to be able to do these live streams and be able to broadcast. Because right now I multi-broadcast to, I broadcast to YouTube at the same time I'm broadcasting to Facebook, and I'm doing to Twitch and other ones as well. So it'll be cool to be able to do it to some of those blockchain sites as well.
So I see a comment from Susie D. Bitcoin stocks not for me, and I think that's perfectly fine. And if you're looking from a pure preparedness perspective, when you got everything else in order, then you're going to look at metals and gold and silver and Bitcoin. So I think the priorities from a prepper perspective are a bit different than, but yeah, if you're not on a tight budget and you there's only so much pantry space I have in my house, so yeah, I can't just keep filling the pantry up.
Yeah. There's a cool question from we'll take a few more. This is from Steven. So you said before Bitcoin was like $1. So would you say penny stocks is something that may be better for newcomers to learn by?
Well,
I'll let you answer. I have my thoughts on that, but
if you mean with penny stocks, you mean other altcoins? Well, they're very speculative, and I would definitely stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. And you can buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, and you get a couple of Satoshi. So you don't have to spend much to be learning with it and practicing with it. You can buy $1 worth of Bitcoin. So that's not something you don't have to go in big. You can just buy $10 a month and just save it like that.
So rather go into Starbucks every day, just put that into your get some Bitcoin, and you might be a little bit better off in the long run. So, this is Susie appreciates that we answered. I have horrible trust issues. Gold, silver is fine. Yeah, I think a lot of preppers that comes with becoming a prepper. There's a lot that you don't trust.
Well, with Bitcoin, you put your trust in mathematics and in algorithms, and not in some guys in black suits at the central bank. So I know I trust more.
I trust the nerds and the fellow nerds. I said we see prepper nerd is here too. We have a lot of nerds on this channel. So thanks for the live stream, Tuff, and good to be introduced to Jor. Thanks for the info. Yeah, people that are in suits that are eating caviar and having doppio macchiatos that I don't trust as much as some nerd eating Hot Pockets for some reason. Maybe that's just me. This is really cool. A lot of people just seem to be appreciating this particular stream. And this is a great quote. Where is it at? In math, we trust. Yeah, I love math. When I went to school, I hated non-mathematical style courses because there was no right answer. Like I took the worst course I ever took was moral philosophy, and I hated it because it was all like, who's the best talker? There was no right answer to it. With math, there was there's equations, and there's writing out your work and showing the work, and you have the answer, and even get partial credit if you do the right work, but you get the wrong answer, versus something like philosophy, which is just I hated that kind of stuff. So yes, I agree. In math, we trust. And this is a good one too. Don't trust, verify. That's true too. In math, we trust, but verify. So,
and that's the blockchain. Once the transaction is done, it's visible for the whole world to see and to verify, and you can never turn it back. I don't know, is that the correct phrase in English? You can never revert it.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I know we didn't dive into blockchain as much as we could have with regard to how it works. There's a lot of great videos out there that could do a really good explanation. We're trying to do a wide gambit of topics in this hour-long live stream. So, but yeah, it's math. It's available to you could check it out, and everything is visible. The ledger is visible, so it's there's transparency too. So that's awesome, and I see people are appreciating that too.
All over the world. So.
Yeah. Great to see the decentralization movement pick up speed. Yeah, I totally agree. See, I forget if I posted this one, but I very much appreciate in this particular live stream. Thank you for this today. I learned a lot. I'm sure others have as also. Thank you so much for watching. This is great. Someone's disagreeing. Let's see. I disagree. Even if you're going to hold coins in an exchange, it's better to use an exchange that at least gives you the option to take possession of coins.
Yeah, some exchanges, and I think that's more relevant in the USA, they do the KYC, know your customer. So you have to prove to the exchange your identity, and they will link your identity to the account, and they also report to the taxes, I think, how much you own. So that's it's different in where in the world you are. But a lot of the times, if you linked your identity to your exchange account, you're also there are also more guarantees and more regulations that apply to the exchange. So definitely would recommend, if you're just starting and you don't want to buy hardware ledgers and stuff like that, go to a good exchange like Coinbase, like Kraken, or whatever other exchange you use, and make sure that you use that, know your customer. And I think in USA it's even mandatory to do that. So
yeah. Again, a lot of nerd fans out there. Let's see, in Nerds We Trust. We have math is a great prepper tool. I totally agree.
Nice one from Ivan. There are ways to use Bitcoin practically on day to day.
Yeah, is this one? Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have a Visa card from crypto.com, and I just can, but I have to convert. If I want to pay with it, I just quickly open the app, say convert so many Bitcoin to dollars or USD or euros now. I click it, and then I can pay with the Visa card. So there's more and more options to use Bitcoin in real life.
Yeah.
In day to day.
Yeah, and I think it's just going to get more and more that way too. So, and I imagine it's going to make a lot of like people that love centralization and control and wearing suits and that kind of stuff. They're not going to like that. But it seems like it's unstoppable almost now. But I'm preparing for possible SHTF in the future. That's a good. Yep, I think a lot of us are. Nice stream. People liking the stream. Thank you. I don't even know. I even V. Thank you, Sharon McDonald, for coming in. Math is a beautiful language. Yeah, math is it is beautiful. It's awesome. Like this, and I love like some of the stuff like even that Einstein did. Like it's just now getting able to be proved now. So like he had the equations there, but we didn't have the technology to really verify. So it's just I love it. I hate stuff that doesn't have a right answer. So this is from Amy Fresh. Maybe. We could keep talking on this. Maybe a final question, and we kind of talked about it in the beginning, but well, actually, we did talk about it in the beginning. So, Amy, I think Juror, he was talking about he got into prepping after 9/11 happened, and kind of the uncertainty of the world is what we talked about in the beginning of the stream. So, info is so.
I see Dogecoin going up. Well, Dogecoin is being hyped now and made a crazy run up, but it's very dangerous to try to catch those insane social media amplified things. It's a lot of people are going to lose a lot of money on that. So that's why I say if you're not like daily digging into this crypto space, just stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum maybe, but I'll definitely ignore the rest. Don't be tempted by the 800% gains in one day, because it's probably going to drop 1600% the next day. So it's dangerous stuff to play with.
Well, cool. I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know it's getting late over there and you have to put the kids to bed, you said. So again, we've been talking all about we've been talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in regards to prepping. So we're trying not to do it in regards to financial advice or anything like that, but we've met through prepping, and a lot of us are, I think cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is kind of prepper adjacent, and a lot of like preppers like the idea of self-reliance, on decentralization, on transparency with a lot of stuff that we do. So this has been a lot of fun. A lot of people seem to enjoy this particular talk. I feel like we just got started with this particular scratch the surface.
I can go on for days with this. Just
and you do.
community.
You do a lot of Zoom calls and stuff and showing a lot of the cool charts like what we showed over here in this live stream. So we'll maybe after you put the kids to bed and maybe tomorrow we could update this video with a lot of the links that you showed in this one. But this was a fun one. I had a lot of fun just talking about this one, and people seem to enjoy it as well. So we should definitely do it again. Especially as things go on,
and see how far my price predictions came through in like a year's time. That would be fun.
Yeah. So if you're watching this in real time, we'd like to thank you for being so active in the chat room and for supporting Jur. He's going to be putting the kids to bed, and then we'll check back in. Maybe you could also make sure that you come and follow us on the Discord server, which we have here. If you want to talk to Jur, maybe not right now, but tomorrow, for example, just go to the cryptocurrency Discord servers and you could go over there on that particular channel and talk about all sorts of cool topics. We have all preppers that are there, so it's going to be more prepping related than financial advice related or anything like that.
Discord to learn about prepping, and if you want to learn to trade on a daily basis, then we have our Discord server, obviously, where you can hang out and learn. We have a lot of education there for learning to trade.
Very cool, and a lot of people seem to be enjoying this one. So yeah, and Denise Drake has put the link there. That's how you get started to go into the Discord server. So again, this has been a fun one. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Thanks, Jur, so much for taking the time to talk with us and helping educate us on all of these concepts, which are a little advanced, but I think they're important for us, especially now here in 2021. So if you're watching this rerun in the year 2024, hopefully a lot of Jur's advice helped you out. Make sure you, if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button. And you can subscribe to the channel. I don't think that you have a YouTube channel or anything like that. So they're gonna
no. There was in our Discord.
Yeah. So just come over to Discord. You can talk to Jur. There was a rumor or conspiracy theory that he was just AI, but it's true that he's a real person. So he's not. Jur is not AI as was rumored. So, but everyone, thanks for the support. Smash the like button. And subscribe if you like these type of videos. We have more fun live streams coming up. I'm talking to House of Prep on Tuesday, which is going to be a blast. And actually all of February, I have a lot of awesome guests, and this was a fun one too. So thanks again for talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and how it relates to prepping. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.